Welcome to Moments of Madness. I'm AJ, your procrastination guru, here to guide you through the labyrinth of distractions.
And I'm Mally, the queen of putting things off until the last minute, including the preparation for today's recording. Today, we're diving deep into the art of procrastination.
So grab your to-do list, leave it unchecked for now, and let's start this procrastination party. I feel like we need some party music for that. All right. So I thought we could kick off with a confession. Name one thing that you've definitely been procrastinating on lately.
Life.
You have to pick one thing. Quitting smoking.
Literally life. I wake up in the morning, I get distracted by my phone, I let my phone keep me distracted, and then I go back to bed. Life.
Functioning adulthood. Because you're still alive, so you haven't put off being alive.
Okay, fine. Interacting with life.
Yeah. Given that it was the start of winter last week, and I think we had just come off the back of like a week and a half of rain every day, my functioning was at an all-time low for a few days there. I was just ready to just stay in bed.
I suppose I haven't been fully procrastinating. I'm still getting enough done that, nobody's going to dob on me to HR or whatever. Yeah. Is there a HR for life?
You're paying your bills.
My motivation is at all-time lows. Like, there are very specific people at the moment that I do get motivated to do things and get it done. But they definitely, at the moment, are very people-linked more than anything else. Like, I can't find the motivation on my own for anything.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that's just what you have to do to get through a particular period of low motivation, is to just use everyone else's social obligation and guilt as a driving force.
It probably says really bad things about the state of my life that I have to tap into my rejection sensitivity to get anything productive done.
Look, whatever gets you through the day, as long as you don't stay like that. Yeah, I was so bad that I'm still using Habitica, but you know how like in Habitica, when you tick off something on your list, like you get experience, but if you don't do some of your daily things, it's like it takes health off of your little character. Yep. I basically died this morning because I didn't do enough the last few days, and I had just leveled up, so I got like had gone from like full health like 5 days ago to 0.
I have been logging in and doing things so that I can help you with that last quest like you asked for. Of course, I also basically set myself up on easy mode. I get ticks for things like, have shower.
Yeah. None of mine is particularly hard either. It's like, because we have a dishwasher, but like there's certain things that can't go in the dishwasher. They have to be washed by hand. So like mine is just like do all the hand washing. And, it's real basic stuff that I usually avoid doing unless there's some kind of dopamine hit reward involved.
Let's see what I've got on mine.
All right. What are we procrastinating on in Habitica?
Love that I've got wake up in here, but I don't have a set time. So as long as I wake up at some point today, I have done that.
Yeah.
Shower. Gaming. I've got gaming as an action item on my daily list.
The ones that I've actually done are taking my iron supplements and my like regular little 7-minute workout thing. Like it's not even a full workout.
I've got one on here that's like spend 30 minutes doing something that brings you joy.
That's always good. And I have to fill in, it's not a timesheet, but it is. I have to fill in a timesheet for work. So I have that one for like Monday through Friday. Otherwise I won't do it. And then I'll have like forgotten.
You do realize that at this point, we absolutely are just putting off talking about this, right?
We are. Okay, fine. All right, let's talk about procrastination.
Procrastination.
And through the magic of editing, we can just skip past all that waffle.
Yeah, magic editing makes it look like we didn't procrastinate about talking about procrastination.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm totally not editing that out. Let the world fucking know. So basically, I've sort of broken this down into because I do feel like sometimes we do focus too much on the neurodivergence, but in some cases that's because like I think I said it in my solo one when I was talking about gamification. It's like, because we're late diagnosis, it tends to be that a lot of our framing at the moment to try and pull our lives in order has to go through that lens. So we find it
Yeah.
interesting and then we want to share it.
And it's sort of us making sense of ourselves and where we're at.
Mm.
So, of course, we kind of come back to that time and time again.
Yeah. So, but I thought we'd just touch on generally understanding procrastination
Yeah.
and what causes it. Then what are some specific ADHD obstacles? And then look, methods to combat procrastination, both general techniques and ADHD friendly ones. So I thought I'd make it a little bit less specific.
What causes procrastination? So what you've got here, I really relate to definitely fear of failure. So there's a lot of like, I'm putting something off because I'm not confident about how well I'm going to be able to do this thing, and you worried about like not meeting your own expectations or other people's expectations, and that can be really paralyzing. And it's easier to just avoid it and hide from it than
Yep,
it is to tackle it, and when you're bracing yourself for a bad outcome.
yep. And then obviously there's like, perfectionism that ties in with that. Like, perfectionists definitely delay things if they don't think they can do it perfectly the first time. Which also ties in with like lack of motivation. So you can overcome the need for perfectionism if you're really motivated and into something. So you go, oh, well, that sucked, but I enjoyed doing it, so I might do it some more until I get better at it. And it's definitely like a lot of low motivation going on. Yeah.
Yeah, the next one I definitely relate to, which is overwhelm. So, if it's something that I haven't done before and I don't have a good idea of how to sequence and break something down, I really easily get overwhelmed. So, it's just easier to kind of put it off until I'm ready to like try and push through. Yeah, it's one of the life skills I'm working on developing now is breaking things that feel overwhelming down into ridiculously tiny steps. So
Yeah.
just so I can take that first step and get past the procrastination. Still working on that one though, not great at it yet.
Just made me think that there is also the flip side of that one, and it's not in the list, and it's probably not officially anywhere because people just throw it into the lack of motivation. But I feel like underwhelm is a real thing as well. So, like,
But yeah, good point.
there's a bunch of little things at work that I help out with at the moment, and they're tiny little things that are really simple to do, but I do them over and over and over again. It's not that really that I'm not motivated to do them. It's just that I'm not. It's not engaging me enough to wanna do it right this second. It's like, you know what? That'll take me 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna put it over there for now because, like, it's not that I don't want to or I can't or it's hard. It's just can I get a few of them piled up so that I can justify spending time on it rather than just drop everything, do this one thing that takes 2 minutes when I can wait until there's 4 of them and spend 10 minutes doing a whole bunch at once? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It can sometimes feel like something is really busy work or, low value task. So, yeah, a lot of those definitely
I think I
would inspire me to not do.
feel like that also is where things like, when you're a single person on your own, you don't have any housemates or anything like that, cooking starts to fall into because, like, the effort that it takes to clean up after yourself to cook for one person and the effort it takes to do that cooking for one person just doesn't outweigh just getting a, like, light and easy meal and throwing it in the microwave, you know what I mean? Which
Definitely.
which is strange because the amount of effort to clean up after cooking a big meal is, in theory, bigger because more things are but it's not, because it's really just, like, 3 extra plates and some
Well,
extra knives and forks, but you
there's like
still use the same
efficiencies of
dishes.
scale when you're
Yeah,
cooking for more people. Like if you're cooking some pasta, you've got to use one pot to cook the pasta in. You've still got one
yeah,
pot to wash. It
yeah,
doesn't matter if you cooked for four or
yeah,
one.
and, like, if you're not a foodie, then all you're really doing is eating to fuel yourself up, so why put all that effort into and cleaning up after it? Whereas when you're doing it for a family or something and you're not a foodie, you're still getting social enjoyment and family time out of it, so there's still something. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like underwhelming should be listed as a cause as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Poor time management.
My favorite.
And this isn't even like talking yet about ADHD specific time blindness or anything. It's just regular people could be bad at time management as well. So, having that difficulty in managing your time or overestimating or underestimating the time it takes to do things definitely leads to people procrastinating.
Yeah. Time management is a skill whether your brain is geared towards it or not.
And last minute delivery of things is best left in the hand of experts like us with ADHD. Stay out of our realm.
That was like my MO through all of uni.
Yep.
Well, I've got an essay due tomorrow. Okay, I'll just stay up till 3 a.m. cranking that one out.
Yep. We are absolutely queens of last minute delivery of quality. You
But yeah,
neurotypical people can deliver last minute, but your quality is not as good as ours. Our brain works really well under pressure.
I got plenty of good marks on those 3
Yep.
a.m. essays. Some
Yep.
of them not so much, but most of them were fine.
Look, I got some great marks in my postgrad dip on last minute things. It's just analyzing data from like quantitative surveys that were put out there for the stuff that I was working on last minute. Yeah. Sorry, I still pulled together some pretty great analysis of the data. Some people can do it, some people can't. Neurotypicals stay out of our realm.
Keep in your lane.
Sorry, I'm ring fencing that and claiming that as our own, okay? They get plenty of other things. They get people skills and happy, like easy relationship. No, they don't really, but I want something to be ours, god damn it.
Well, there you go. You can have it. So where were we? Poor time management. Low self-efficacy. So just, I guess it's almost like underestimating your own ability. But that kind of goes back to fear of failure and lack of motivation. I think they're all, interlinked, but definitely if you're not confident that you can do a thing, why try it? Moving on. Speaking of distractions and lack of focus, that can be a cause of procrastination too.
I feel targeted.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Actually, I must say that this is a chicken and egg question. Do you procrastinate because you're distracted, or do you use the distractions to procrastinate?
I think it depends on the mood.
That's true.
So it depends on whether your intention is to try and avoid doing something, or if you're in the middle of doing something and something shiny came up and distracted you. So
But is that procrastination, or is that just getting
I
distracted?
think that last one's just getting distracted. The first one, when you go looking for distractions so you can procrastinate, I think it can be both, is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
So I suppose next up is emotional regulation. So procrastination can be a coping mechanism to relieve negative emotions, not just for us. Everyone has negative emotions. I still dislike the term negative and positive emotions because emotions are just
Me
emotions.
too.
It's how you deal with them that are positive and negative. But
I
anyway,
always try not to slip into adding a judgment onto feelings. Feelings are just feelings.
we listen and
And
we don't judge.
well, and if you look at all the emotions that we typically classify as negative, like being afraid or being angry, they all
sad,
have
grief.
they all have really important roles to play,
Yeah.
especially if you're just looking at biology. Like being scared of things that are scary is useful, and being angry at things that are, threatening or
Yeah.
problematic
But
can be useful.
it also puts too much pressure into maintaining at all times positive emotions. And
Yeah.
you actually can't do that. Like, you can't be happy all the time. That is not the goal. The goal is to be happy the right amount for a healthy balance in your life. So if we set it up as happy as a positive and it's the goal, then it just increases how much frustration and upset you are because you're
Yeah.
not maintaining happy all the time. So you feel like
Like,
you're failing.
why would you be happy at your grandmother's funeral, for example? Like, sure, you can celebrate their life and you can laugh at stories and stuff, but, maybe unless you really didn't like your grandmother, you're probably going to be sad, and that's all right. You shouldn't be happy.
I don't know, it depends on what the woman's like. and whether or not you killed her. Anyway, moving on. The final point we have here on our list is avoidance of accountability. So, some people will avoid things to avoid dealing with feedback and accountability, especially if they're not sure what the outcome of what they're going to do is going to be. I tend to fall into that a little bit. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and avoidance of accountability. I don't mind being accountable for what I've done, but it's that whole uncertain of how things will be received and the outcome of what I'm doing that I fall into. So I get very scared of the feedback side, not the accountability side. So I
Yeah.
am usually quite happy to be the first one to go, mea culpa, sorry guys, I did that one. Then I get very frustrated with people who avoid taking accountability because I think that's the problem. Too many people equate accountability with blame. And when it's
Yeah.
done right, accountability is not blame. It's just, sorry, we actually do need to know who did that. So
Yeah.
anyway, moving
Well,
on.
and if there's the mindset of this person did this and that wasn't the outcome we wanted, but here's what we can do better next time, then I'll all for accountability. Like that should be the whole driver for it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, sometimes if you fuck up big enough, yeah, you need to be accountable and it will feel like blame. But that
Yeah.
is not actually blame, that is accountability for your stuff up. I'm sure a lot of those we just talked about sound very familiar because a lot of those definitely fall into the realm of reasons ADHD people struggle and have problems and procrastinate. And it's really not that different, the list between the two. Probably because we just have like dialed up versions of a lot of the things that neurotypical typical people do struggle with as well. So, but if you add in a couple of things, which is like the executive function issues, so we have problems prioritizing and making those sorts of decisions. Impulsivity issues, we have a lot of trouble controlling impulsive reactions to things. And, difficulty sustaining attention. I'm sure like that's starting to make sense why we might have a hyped up version of what regular people do on the daily when they procrastinate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you really have almost zero sense of time passing.
Yeah.
That really makes it easy to even unintentionally put things off. Like, I was supposed to have done that yesterday, but I forgot that yesterday was the day I was
Hmm.
supposed to do the thing.
Do you know, like all the things that we struggle with ADHD, if I had to, like, if I was allowed to choose just one thing and correct it, I honestly think the time blindness is the one that I would
Yeah,
choose.
I hate it.
Hmm.
It's so frustrating, and it's probably the one thing that I feel makes me personally feel the most out of sync with the rest of the world because so much like as soon as you start school, you have to wake up at a certain time. You have to be somewhere at a certain time. Your whole day is chunked up into time chunks, and then you stop and then you start all over again. And when you have a brain that is actively like just disengaged with that whole structure, it makes you feel
Yeah.
really weird. Like I would love nothing more than to not never have to use an alarm again. Never have to use reminders on my phone again because I didn't have to check my computer clock 20 times to remember what day it was.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing with it is that whole and I definitely suffer a lot with this, is just feeling my life slipping away because I haven't noticed how much time has gone. And
Mhm.
shit, actually, it's been 2 months since we did that.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Where's my life gone? Or, you only get 1 hour lunch break in a day. And so by the time I've
And you
gotten down
blink and
there,
it's
yeah, it's
over.
gone.
Yeah.
So
And
I
I
actually
like you
don't
didn't
feel like I've had a
enjoy
break.
or
Yeah,
experience any of that downtime.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
totally.
I'm sure, like, the people in my life would have expected that I would have gone with, like, the emotional dysregulation because I have suffered so much with the depression cycles and everything. But honestly, I think it would be the time blindness that I would get
Yeah.
rid of
Yeah.
because a lot of my depression issues are linked to that feeling like my life is just slipping away and I'm
Yeah.
doing nothing, accomplishing nothing, and
Yeah.
enjoying nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and even little simple things like if I don't stick to particular routines with cleaning, I lose all sense of time for those sorts of things that you don't do every day, like,
Mm,
dust or, you know, do a deep clean of something. In my brain, I have just done that like last week, and it
Yeah.
could have been months since I last did it.
Yep.
And it makes it just so hard to stay on top of stuff. So I feel like a lot of the overwhelm and everything else would go away
Hmm.
if I just had a better handle on. I just did that, right? No, that was 6 months ago, you idiot.
Yeah. Gardening is the big one with me, and it's gotten worse since like I'm now fully remote and stuff because I don't go outside very often at all to
Yeah.
notice the build up of weeds and overgrowth and everything. So I hate doing it. So anytime I do go out there, I'm like, didn't I just do this like 3 weeks ago? No, it's been
Yeah.
6 months since the last house inspection. That's how long it's been
Mhm.
since you've been out here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's not just like a bad memory or something. I just literally cannot parse how long it's been.
Hmm. Yeah, basically. Like that is pretty much exactly it. It's not the memory that's faulty. It's the holy shit, that was never 6 months just now.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. We're halfway through this year already. I don't know where that time has gone.
Me neither. I cannot believe that we're already in June. I'm still like, wait, but it was just
I'm
April like a
supposed to be
minute ago.
closer to relocating at this point, and I am not. Anywho.
Yeah, and that just drives like so many things like being able to see progression and
Look,
all kinds of things that would also help motivation and help you get through tasks.
anyway, carrying on, let's talk about ways to combat procrastination.
Yeah.
I highly recommend listening to the Moments of Madness podcast. That absolutely is not a procrastination tool.
That
It
would be
helps you
so
motivate you and get you
motivating.
doing things. And, well, it would motivate us to get things done and plan and do things.
Yes.
Might not, we can't guarantee the outcomes for your productivity.
But I know it motivates me all the time.
Yeah. But a lot of these are stuff that we're banged on about in other things, like, how to communicate, how to deal with burnout, all of that other stuff. It's always about break things down into small tasks so that you can get those dopamine hits. Not just ADHD people have dopamine, so I'm not talking about them yet. So you can get those happy, buzzy feelings more consistently. And a lot of that's about like gamification. So you're rewarding your brain with happy feels, externalizing deadlines so that you can visually see progress and change. So get countdown timers, calendar alerts, status bars, you know.
Well, and especially that whole jam it in at the last minute. So if I say, okay, this has to be done by tomorrow, and I make up a fake deadline for it, it doesn't work with everything, but I can sometimes fool myself into just, jamming through a bunch of my to-do list
Hmm.
but it says right there, I have to do it.
Yep,
It's tomorrow. It's due.
yep. You know, breaking things up into smaller tasks also helps
Yeah.
when you go, okay, I'm going to do half an hour of this, and then I get to have 5 minutes of not that. It's good to break it up and change your environment as well. So if you're going to have a 5 minute break from focusing on doing this document, make your 5 minute break away from your computer. So
Yeah.
so that
Get up
you've
and
actually
go
taken
somewhere
yourself,
else.
yeah, take
Yeah.
yourself entirely out of that environment so you don't lose more time down a procrastination rabbit hole because in 5 minutes you'll come back to here and it helps you get back into the flow of things. At least that's what they tell me works for the non-ADHD crazy people out there. I know we're not supposed to call
Well,
ourselves crazy, but
I think also that a whole environments and going through rituals can be really helpful. So, like, if you do work from home, get dressed for the day anyway. Don't work in your pajamas. I think, yeah, having a workspace where you do your work and things like it can even be good for your sleep hygiene. Like, don't do your work in your bed and don't lounge around in your
and don't
workspace.
don't do your work in your bed, and don't do your bed in your work.
Yeah, don't do your bed in your work. You get really confused then.
Yeah. So ADHD friendly add-ons to this is like visual sticky notes, Kanban boards, color coded. Instead of just having a whole bunch of black and white cards that say this and this and this, we like color coding.
Color coding can help. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I set up my VA workspace board, it's like each epic has its own colors so that I can see them down there. So that I'm like, that one I know is more interesting than that one. I'm going to do that one first.
And it can also be a fun form of procrastination to figure out your whole color scheme
It
for
can
your
be.
plan.
I can't remember if you ever got to see any of my spreadsheets before you
No.
left where we worked together. They are always like a visual overload of colors. Every fucking thing is color coded. I've never done the bright colors. Like I
Yeah.
opened one particular PM spreadsheet once and the red was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go blind if I have to try and stare at this too long.
Yeah.
Don't do that, people. Okay, it's okay to
Consider
color code things, but use
accessibility.
faded colors. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, you can tell it's a Marley spreadsheet by the incredible overuse of color.
Taste the rainbow.
Pretty much. One thing that I have been thinking over the last week that I really want to try is body doubling because I have noticed that when I'm on a call with someone and we started talking about something and I start like, I'll do that now while I'm on the call. I actually do fucking do it. So
Yeah.
I would really love to find myself a virtual body double person to just happily sit on a call with me and work together.
One thing that I've definitely seen, like on Patreons or something where there's a stream or something, they do lots of just like hangout live streams where everybody joins on and people say what they're doing, like book clubby kind of things, or people will just work on their projects. I think that's actually a really interesting use of technology where you can just do stuff together even though you're not in the same room. But I even think that like we just got my daughter her library card, and I think of other times I used to just go to the library and there were other people around, and that made me more focused on what I was doing rather
Yeah,
than being in a room by myself.
yeah, yeah. I used to do my best work like in the uni library and stuff when there was more
Yeah.
people around. So yeah, I really want to try this because I've got so many things that I really need to just get done and I just can't even get
Mm,
started. So but I don't know how to do this because I don't know the efficacy of doing a virtual body doubling, like virtual meeting with someone who's
mm,
not from my work.
yeah.
Because if I start talking out loud to myself or something, then in theory, I might possibly be sharing internal IP or, you know,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm such a bother to people. So I don't want to go to the neurospicy channel at work and go, hey, I would like to try body doubling just to try and improve my productivity. Is anyone interested in this experiment with me?
Why
But
don't you want to do that?
because most of the people who are in the neurospicy channel at work actually kind of intimidate me.
Oh, really? Like, okay, you can cut this out, but who? I'm just curious.
So I'm quite happy not to cut this out. That's fine. Not intimidate me like I'm scared of them or anything. It's just
Yeah.
I find them so much more put together than me.
I'm imagining that this is a case of imposter syndrome that's
I mean, maybe
just a
it
little
is, but
bit.
like think of the KBs of the world.
Yeah,
You know who I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
She just comes across so put together to me.
Yeah, you didn't hear all of her crazy stories about
Well,
stuff that I'm not going to mention because of
see,
their
part
dubious legality.
well, maybe a lot of it is because I am fully remote, so I'm not around them in person. So I only see what they present to themselves. Yeah, they're just a few of them in there. They're really good at what they do. So it's not an intimidating, like I think they'd be horrible to me. It's
Yeah.
just intimidating that I feel like they're succeeding better than I am at life
Mm,
sort of thing. So it's not a negative thing. I'm sure
yeah.
maybe they would actually be quite flattered to hear that they're conveying themselves that way and being seen as like put together and winning at life.
Yeah. My dad used to say you're judging your insides against somebody else's outsides.
Pretty much. But the thing
Mm.
is like that, and I'm self-aware enough to know that my outsides are just as messy as my insides. I don't
Yeah.
do a very good
Well,
job at masking anything.
that's probably where, you know, you're fairly, I don't know. I think that you are judging yourself too harshly.
Look,
I don't think your
it,
outsides are
it
actually that messy.
It may be that I'm judging myself that not too harshly, but when you consider, you've heard some of the stories of my childhood and how I was raised and
Yeah.
everything. The
Yeah.
yardstick that I've been given to measure myself against it's not realistic.
No.
It's barely realistic for neurotypical people. People don't like loud people. Think about
Mm.
what you're saying before you say it because people don't like it when you're too honest. Don't- Don't be weird.
Uh-huh.
Stop being weird. You shouldn't do things like, all of that.
Yeah.
And then all of this. Then I have the added layer nowadays of, and I've gotten really, 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 really worried about this is, am I a narcissist? Because I talk about myself so much. And it's like, you know what? That's because I
No.
don't have anything else.
Yeah.
And I
You're not a
don't really
narcissist for talking about yourself, though.
I know. So that, yeah, but like, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else to compare it to. And I don't particularly like talking about other people. I can only own my experience.
Yeah.
So which isn't the same as a narcissist who makes everything about themselves
Yeah.
and makes them the victim of everything. And sometimes I do that.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like growing up,
Yeah.
seeing someone who is like that, it's very hard for me to sometimes, especially the older I get, and I think perimenopause is really playing with my fucking emotions and everything, but it makes it
Mm.
really hard for me to delineate between, is this really happening or am I playing the victim? I don't
Yeah.
know anymore.
I think it's helpful to realize in those cases that, like,
Can I just, like, you know how they've got these people who are out there saying, I identify as a cat? Can I just identify as a cat? Someone adopt
yeah,
me and put me I'll curl up, you stroke my hat, and that's it. My life will be set.
I used to want to be a cat.
I
I
would prefer
mean,
not to
it's
eat
pretty
cat
good.
food, though, so
Well, but if you're a cat, you like it, so what does it matter?
as far as I'm aware, nobody's actually really turning into cats, so I'm probably still
Yeah,
just going to be a human cosplaying as a cat, so I'd rather
yeah.
not eat cat.
All right, should we
How
do
did
the
we get
outro?
here?
That one's going right into the tangents episode.
God, yes.
We just spent 20 minutes talking about melons.
Yeah. Something is so fucking wrong with us.
No,
It's
it's
so wrong,
fine.
it must be right. So that's our crash course on letting go of delay.
Whether you're a serial procrastinator or battling ADHD time blindness, remember, you're not broken, you're human.
Hit the show notes for links we thought might be informative or helpful.
Subscribe, comment, and join us next time for another delicious slice of madness. Madness. Until then, wave your freak flag high.
Bye, Greer.